Travelers across the U.S. are no strangers to flight delays and cancellations, especially during the winter. But this winter has been brutally cold for air travel. In fact, it's the worst period for flying and flight delays and cancellations since the September 11th terrorist attacks. Shraysi has more.
For many travelers across the U.S., it's been the winter of discontent. Days of endless snow, sleet, and cold has resulted in the worst period for air travel in decades. According to industry data tracker MassFlight, the severe weather has taken an almost $6 billion toll on airlines, airports, and passengers. More than 1 million flights in and out of the U.S. were canceled or delayed since December, affecting over 90 million passengers.
This is the worst winter on record for airlines. The number of flights canceled topped anything that we've ever seen since the government started keeping track in the early 1980s. Airlines were canceling flights because there was one storm after another that just hammered them.
With increased expenses, costs, and uncertainty on the line, many airlines resorted to canceling flights instead of delaying them.
Canceling flights this winter has cost the airlines a lot of revenue, but it actually doesn't hurt their bottom line as much as you'd think. Because when you cancel a flight, you don't have to pay a pilot, you don't have to pay the flight attendants, and you don't have to pay for jet fuel.
According to FlightAware, U.S. regional carrier ExpressJet had the most cancellations this winter, with almost 12,000 flights being canceled. Other carriers that were hit hard include Southwest, American Airlines, United, Delta, and JetBlue.
This year we've seen, New York and Boston, sure, they have winter weather all the time. D.C., we often get it. But this hit pretty hard not only in the Midwest hubs, Chicago and Detroit, but Atlanta and Charlotte. Atlanta had some massive winter weather problems.
Despite the weather snafus, Hamlin says the bad weather will barely leave a dent on the airline industry. After a number of unprofitable years, domestic carriers are finally delivering profits.
After many years of chasing market share, they have figured out that this is a business. All the legacy carriers have been through bankruptcy, which may be a warning to investors in the business. But yes, they have figured out with less capacity, it's simple economics. If supply goes down, what happens to price? It goes up. And they now are making, in some cases, a modest or even, working on getting towards a return on invested capital target.
While air travel was off to a stormy start this year, experts say the outlook for spring is much brighter. Higher ticket prices and solid demand for travel is expected to give the industry a much-needed boost. Shraysi, CCTV, New York.